No coffee. Haven't even got a pen in my hand. I've got a spotty shirt on. Travis tells me that's not allowed. I've got a pen. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you. Got them now. Here are tonight's letters. First one. Should we put an age restriction on marriage? Just ban it altogether. Second letter tonight. He's in love with the 23-year-old woman, but how old is he? He's a lot older than her, and he wants to know, should he just walk away and let her find someone of her own age, etc.? Last letter tonight. Screaming kids in public. Huh. Come and volunteer on the crew at Sweet and Sour. We'll teach you about screaming kids in public. All these letters, our terrific guests who will be here shortly, and lots more on Sweet and Sour. 20 seconds, don't go away. We'll see you soon. I'm going to get clobbered now. See ya.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Please, the applause. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour of Sweet and Sour. Let's meet our guests straight away. First up, my very good mate, Evan Koukoulas. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Thank you for having me on the show.
Great to have you back, mate. How long's it been? When was the last time you were on?
Oh, it's been a couple of years.
We had the twins on.
Yes, we did.
We had the twins, the Russian twins, the beautiful, glamorous Russian twins.
That's correct.
How are they?
They're still around. They've got children. They're happy. They don't get out as much, but I keep in touch.
Okay.
And they passed on their greetings to you.
Oh, very nice. Pass them back. Now tell me, you're right in the thick of retail. How's the retail market at the moment?
It's going okay with us.
Your food, so you never decline, do you?
That's it. People have to eat. We've been around since 1929, and the oldies set up something nice
and
for the
boy,
next generation. That's it.
Good to have you here, mate.
Thank you.
Terrific. Candice, have you ever interviewed Evan for anything?
No, but we did have a very nice chat at a function that we were both at.
Oh, how long ago was that?
It was only a year or year and a half maybe ago. So, you know, he's a man about town.
He's a man about time.
Plenty
of time for you to interview him. How have you been?
Time. Really well,
All good?
you. Yes.
How does winter treat you?
I don't feel the temperature.
Woman for
it doesn't
all
bother us at all.
Good for you.
Not even wearing a jacket today. Look at me.
Oh, no, I'm a summer person. I'm like Evan. I like the beach. No, I've got to go to the beach. Do you like the beach or are you a winter person? Yeah.
I don't like the winter.
You don't like the winter?
No, cold hands, cold feet, cold nose.
Yeah. Creo, quiero, ya, dio, as the Greeks say, which is it's very cold.
Freddo in Italian.
Freddo?
Freddo.
As in
Freddo
frogs?
frog, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There you go,
Very good.
Freddo.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm doing an art
if
exhibition,
you're cold at home,
Gary.
eat frogs, eat
Did you
chocolate.
know that?
What are you doing?
I'm doing an art exhibition.
You are indeed, I know. You're the artist in residence at Central Park, is that right?
In the city, the tallest building in the city,
We got
correct?
anything to show people?
Yes, I've got...
What do you got? What do you got?
I brought
Show
in
me,
a
show me.
painting of my great...
Ah, there she is,
My
very
great
good.
niece, Isabella. She's such a beautiful little girl.
Isabella.
She loves that painting. She has that in her bedroom.
So you do portraits as
So
well as...
I do portraiture and I do...
You do everything.
Yeah, I do pet portraits.
I've
and
seen you do classics as well.
Yeah, I like doing the Renaissance style. That's what I actually like doing. And if you want a commission, excuse me, if you've got a
Shameless
photo,
plug. Here we go.
photo or something that you'd like me to do, then I can do that. So come and see me down at the Central Park. Till the 31st.
Renaissance man Steve Zielinski is back on the show after how many years, Steve? How long's it been?
Oh, it's been about 6 or 7 years.
Wow, but you no longer have...
Raunchy Promotions, no.
Wow.
Sold
Do
it.
you miss it?
And after 29 years, I don't think so. It was a great business, but after a while, it's just...
Like any business?
Like it gets on top of you, yeah.
Yeah, like any woman that you've been going out with for 29... We won't talk about that just yet, will we? All right. So, here we go. First letter. Good to have you on the show, mate. Dear Sweet and Sour panellists, we make such a noise about the rights of the gay and lesbian community to marry. I can't figure why they even want to do it. I'd stop everyone getting married until they're at least 30. Even at that age, people are still too immature to handle the sacrifices required to make a marriage work, and that's simply because the consumerism of the Western world has made life about consumption for me, and nothing more. Divorce rates are huge. I have many mates who've been married 3 or more times. It's just a joke. And at that point of divorce, it's all about what each can win off the other. Again, more about consumption for me. I'm going through a divorce. It's made me thoroughly sick from day one because she's claiming far more than half of my assets that I had well before I married the greedy bitch more than a decade ago. In this day of equality for all men and women, my view is simple. If you want out of the marriage, if you initiate the break, you will be penalised and lose half of any claim on assets you might be seeking. For example, joint assets worth $1,000, you can only claim $250. Then no one would divorce because we'd all be driven by greed today. We'd seek some other accommodation and the blood-sucking lawyers would get absolutely nothing. How do we make this legislation? Comes to us from Fraser, South Yarra in Victoria. Candice.
Oh, Fraser, you're an unlucky man, and I'm so sorry for what you're going through at the moment. It sucks. It's not just women, it's men as well. A really, really sucky situation, but God, I hope this does not become legislation, and I hope you stay as far away from the parliamentarians as you possibly can, because I entirely disagree with you. There are several circumstances where divorce is not only necessary, but it is absolutely the only option. So with talking cases of abuse, you know, you might be the one to initiate a break in that circumstance, and you need somewhere to live, you might need to support children, you might be male or female, or you might be in a same-sex relationship. That is a really, really integral part of our system. It shouldn't be taken as lightly as it is, and I do agree with you there. One thing I did take exception to in your letter, saying that people are still too immature to handle the sacrifices required to make a marriage work, and suggesting that we shouldn't get married until we're 30. So we can't get married till we're 30 in your ideal world, but we can die for our country, we can vote, we can drink, we can do all of these other things that require sacrifices and a little bit of common sense, but we can't love another person legally.
Evan, come on in on this one. I know you've got some experience in this because you spent a good portion of your career in the legal arena looking at family law.
That's true, Gary, and it's interesting to hear what Fraser has to say, and I can sympathise with what you do say. The Family Law Act, the way it's structured, in many instances, does not help the guys for two reasons. A guy can be out working long hours, trying to have a good standard of living to pay off the mortgage or whatever. And at the end of the day, if there's a property settlement, he doesn't get a pat on the back. The courts turn around and say, she's accustomed to a high standard of living. He can work long hours to satisfy that, keep working. He doesn't get a pat on the back. And the other problem where guys suffer quite a lot is when, as in Fraser's case, people come into the marriage with lots of assets. And if it's a marriage of 10 years now, it's classed as a marriage of long duration. So if he comes in with quite a lot of assets and they separate, then she can get 30, 40%, 50% if there's children, sometimes as high as 60%. So that's a problem. If there's disparity of assets, disparity of income, that assists the woman. That's why you get a lot of unhappy husbands around the place.
Okay, Steve.
Well, I agree with Evan on this, and I've got another point I'd like to make. Marriage is a union of two people, and they're supposed to love each other. What happens is when a person meets somebody at the beginning, they're in love, they walk down the aisle, they go through the vows, but after time it changes in some instances. And when it changes, it goes two ways. It's an amicable arrangement where you sit down and you work it out sensibly, or it becomes nasty and a third person gets involved. And when a third person gets involved, it becomes chaotic, and that's when it really costs you a lot of money. Unfortunately, in your case, I agree with you in the situation that when a marriage is at the beginning of a marriage and you've got $1 million worth of assets and she comes into a marriage with nothing, that $1 million should be set aside at the beginning and taken into account on the date of separation. Okay? And that's the way it should work.
All right. Alex, last word on this one. Quick one to a woman.
Of course, me, last one.
Of course.
I'm so glad I'm not married. Oh, I tell you what,
it's best.
You know, I've known so many people that get married, and it always ends in tears. And I don't agree with a lot of. I mean, I agree with a lot of what the men say in Candice, but you know, people don't always get married because they love each other. That is not true, because I know there's a few girls that I know that got married to guys because they had a lot of money and they knew they were going to have a nice lifestyle, and then they used that to their advantage. So marriage today, I always say, don't get married. Piece of paper.
Don't get married. When we come back, we're going to be talking about whether it's right when there's a large age difference between two people, whether they should consider getting together. Don't go away. More of Sweet and Sour. See you soon. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now. There it is, letters@sweetandsour.net.au. And there's our website as well, sweetandsour.net.au. You can give us a like on Facebook and send us a little message on Twitter as well. And you can even see some back scenes. What do you call those? Behind the scenes. Some back scenes. Alex is back at Sweet and Sour TV. That's on Instagram. Wow. And for every letter writer, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of the very gorgeous Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week is Mr. Holmes. Who's seen it?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Maybe St. John Holmes.
Then we'll go straight into the letter. Dear Sweet and Sour.
It's a good one.
I'm a 46-year-old man and I'm in love with a 23-year-old woman. She doesn't know. We work together. We have a terrifically professional working relationship, and at the same time we giggle and enjoy ourselves socially together all the time. There's no one I'd rather spend time with, and she gravitates towards me as well. She'll think nothing of calling me at 10 or 11 at night to chat or sound me out about this issue and that issue. I'm just so aware of the age difference, and I keep thinking that she'd be better off with someone closer to her own age. I know there's this anything goes approach now. A sister of mine is married to a man 12 years younger than her. A brother lives with a woman who is 15 years older than him. And my best mate has lived with 2 younger women for the last 7 years. Geez, that's an arrangement, isn't it? Should I be looking to the future and thinking of how the age gap will impact then? Because I do, and it worries me. Do I have any right to think that I should pursue her? Are there any rules I should be observing? As you can probably tell at my age, I've always been hesitant to follow my heart, but in all honesty, I've never felt this amount of love for any woman. And it comes to us from William of Clovelly in New South Wales. Alex, the man's in love.
Ah, William. William. Billy. You know, if you're having a lot of fun with this girl, then keep having fun. Just don't think about what's going to happen in the future. I'm older, she's younger. The thing is, if you've got chemistry with each other, then don't worry about anything else. Because, you know, what, do you want to get married? Don't get married. I always say to people, why get married? Because if she wants to get married, have kids, then that's a different issue. But if at the moment you're having a good time and everything is great, then just keep having a good time. Life's short. Don't worry about it.
Why force a conclusion, Steve?
Exactly that. Alex is right. Because I'm just talking about the relationship side of things. Like, you're at work, she's at work. You're both there together, and you're there on spending, 8 hours a day, and then she's on the phone to you at 11 o'clock at night. Now, does she love you, or is it a one-way situation, you love her? Marriage doesn't come into it. Have a great time while you're there together, but if you do get married and the kids are involved and you want to have a family, great. My parents got married and they were 19 years difference. Age is not, it's only a number. If you can communicate with each other, you get on well, you love each other, and you've got things you want to do together, why not be together?
Yep.
And you're only as young as the person you're feeling. So you're
Evan,
not old.
Evan, your view on this one?
William, I'm happy for you. Seems like you found your soulmate.
Yeah.
And a famous Greek philosopher, Jim Mussoli's recently stated, one should never judge a girl by the date of her birth. And it's hard enough to find other qualities like integrity, trust, respect, humour, honesty, let alone if you have to start looking at age or assets, it becomes so difficult. So you found your soulmate, I'm happy for you. Go for it.
Yeah, go for it. All right, Candice,
I've got
oil.
I've got no issue with the age thing. No issue at all. If you're really sure that that you love this woman and that she is romantically interested in you in return, and that's the key point, and I'll get to that, then by all means go for it. You're not going to regret having a resolution to this either way. But you want to make sure that there is some kind of romantic interest there on her part. She might see you as a father figure, a cool uncle, a bigger brother. It might be completely platonic on her part. And if so, and you pursue her, then it's going to make things really, really awkward at your workplace. So not only will you be personally feeling quite hurt and rejected, which is a natural feeling, but you also will have to deal with that every day when you go to work. So I would not suggest that you don't go for it, but I would maybe do a little bit more intel.
Be a little bit more cautious.
Just tread carefully.
A little bit more information.
Yeah, a bit more information needed.
What's the worst that can happen? He
worst,
moves on.
No, the worst that could happen is that it'll be in his face every day at work and he won't be able to move on.
So it's safer to do nothing.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying what he needs to do is get more intel.
How do you get that? That's what he... Okay, he's written in. How do you get more intel?
Okay, you get more... you can either ask her or find out...
And the moment you ask her, it's out. The cat's out of the bag.
You want to find out if she's single, for one.
Yeah, and another one, you get a piece of paper.
No.
And write, do a line down
Yes,
the middle.
no, maybe.
And for and against.
She rings him at 11 o'clock at
That
night.
doesn't mean anything. She might see him as a confidant, and that's okay. You want to make sure she's single. You want to find out what her... you can
Hey,
mention
honey,
it in
is your
conversation.
boyfriend there? It's 11 o'clock at night.
Hey,
He'd
honey,
know.
do you
He'd
like
know
me?
if she
Do
had
you
a
like me
boyfriend.
because I've
He
got
might
money?
not.
Do you want money?
He doesn't have money.
Is it
They
money?
work together.
They work
But he
together.
might have money.
Some
She
people
knows.
keep their work and personal
We're
lives
going to talk
quite
about this during the break. We'll solve it for you, don't worry. And we'll send it to you on email, all right? When we come back, we're going to talk about screaming kids in restaurants and everywhere else. Planes, trains, or automobiles. Parents should lock them up. When we come back, screaming kids, don't go away.
It's sweet, it's sour, it's delicious.
And make it look like anything. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour, straight into the letter. Hello, mention guests. Screaming kids in public drive me nuts and are a huge impediment to so much enjoyment. So I'm glad to read that a Queensland restaurateur has banned all kids aged under 7. I don't care about the parents who feel the need to go out in public and take these undisciplined toddlers because they think they have the right to do so. To them, I say stay home and babysit your kids or pay for babysitters. I can't smoke in restaurants anymore, and that was achieved with the passing of simple legislation. I understand that and agree with it. Well, it's the same deal with screaming kids, and legislation should be enacted to make parents more responsible. While we're at it, if any airline executives are listening, what's stopping you creating a confined, soundproof cabin in any commercial plane where you stick parents with screaming kids? Seriously, it's infuriating when you're on a commercial flight and 3 kids are screaming, preventing any chance of sleeping or enjoying the flight. And just what is wrong with these parents who are totally impervious to the screams of their kids in public? Do they not hear it? Are they immune? Do they not feel any responsibility to the need to extend courtesy to the rest of us, the hearing public, when they allow their kids to deafen the lot of us? And it comes to us from Kelly of Maida Vale in WA. Evan, what do you like with screaming kids on the plane?
Thank you, Mitch. I think we've all experienced it at some stage or other. And you see the parents so apologetic and the flight he's trying to help
parents, you're very nice. Some parents, because some parents, like this bloke says, don't give a damn.
out. We grew up in an environment where the children's role is so important, where you go to a function and you see the grandparents, the children, the grandchildren dancing together in a circle, laughing, enjoying each other. So there's also the good side where there's the laughter of children, which we can enjoy. And they don't need a lot to make them happy. They don't need things like fast cars or big boats. Just a ball, a backyard, somewhere to play, and you get the laughter of
Evan,
children.
where have you been living? They need electronic devices now. They're not interested in the balls anymore. 30 years ago, I needed a ball and a little dog and a little... Now they're all like this. And when they don't have it, they start screaming. It's terrible. Candice, what's going on here?
Oh, look, I'm really sorry about this, Kelly. I'm not a parent, haven't been a parent, intend to be a parent someday, but the world is not about you, Kelly. Yes, there are people out there who are going to scream, not just kids. There are people who are going to
Control freak.
look over your shoulder, and there are people who are going to recline when you don't want them to, and they're going to be really rude and take the very last chicken dinner that's available. And the world is not fair, Kelly, and the world will never be fair, and we need to suck it up.
Oh, cut it out. There's got to be some consideration there for common courtesy, because I've actually seen
Yeah, but you
parents
can't predict
let them
it.
go.
You can't predict it.
You can't
There's nothing
predict
you can do about it, so why let it bother you?
Well, true, that's true. Very, very good
Don't sweat
Buddhist
it.
philosophy. Don't
There
sweat
you
it,
go.
don't sweat it. But surely this bloke, no,
Kelly.
it's a girl.
Could be,
Kelly
could be
of
a
Maida
girl
Vale
guy, could be a
has some sort of a positive suggestion here when they say, well, come on, if the parents aren't going to be courteous to the rest of us, maybe the legislature should say, come on, no screaming kids.
We're enough of a nanny state as it is. I do like the idea of the soundproof booth inside the
Aeroplane?
aircraft, but fat chance of that happening in our
What
lifetime.
about a soundproof booth inside of restaurants as well for them?
Look,
Some restaurants do that. Sienna's in Leederville actually have a kids.
there
little
are
area.
places that are for kids and there are places that are for adults. And if this cafe decides that it wants to be a place for adults, then that is its prerogative and that is fine. And I'm happy to attend those places. If there are, I don't go to like, you know, kids club expecting there to be no kids there. It's creepy and it's weird. There are certain places where people of different ages belong.
Agreed. But it's changed a hell of a lot. I remember going out when I was a kid. I mean, I was...
That's a dinosaur years ago.
Well, agreed. And that's how much it's changed.
Yep.
It's been, more than a generation. And I was brought up, kids are seen and not heard. And we were very well behaved. And if we made a noise that offended anybody else, we'd be addressed very smartly when we got home. Alex, screaming kids.
Is it me? Look, you know, when I was a flight attendant with Ansett, I flew for 15 years and we used to have screaming kids on our flight.
What did you do, drug them? She took the drugs herself.
No, actually, I remember, like, there's nothing worse than a crying baby on a flight. It not only bothers the mother, and the child is obviously distressed, and the person sitting right next to it bothers everybody. And so what I used to do, I'd go up and the mother would be sitting there, you know, like she's all stressed out trying to get this baby, you know, shh. And it's like, oh, can I take your child for you for a minute? I would take the child, take him down the back of the aircraft, and I would be really calm. Shut up, Gary. I'd be really calm. I'd hold the baby close to me and I'd do a nice little rocking sound and I'd do, ooh, and then that child would calm right down and go to sleep. And then I'd go back to the mother, I'd go, here's your child. And they go, how did you do that? There's a way to do it. So, you know.
Can I ask your opinion though? You saw it for 15 years on the plane.
Yeah.
Does it follow that placid mum, placid kid and nervous mum, screaming kid?
No. You can have a mother, like sometimes, oh geez, there's too many stories, but you'd have, it depends. Like some parents let their kids run up and down the plane like a lunatic, and it's and I would say, excuse me, you know, you can't have your children running around, and they'd look at you like you were their enemy. And it's like, if you were on a bus, do you let your children run around on a bus? So when you're on a plane, you need to be sit down, but it is the parent's responsibility, not the rest.
Come on in, Steve.
Well, Margot, you've just advertised a great babysitter. Anybody watching this show, ring the number and get Margot to babysit from now on. She's just sorry.
Alex.
Margot. Who's Margot? Yeah, we're just trying to figure out.
Margot from now on, honey.
Sorry, Alex. Margot Spargo. Actually, that rhymes. Margot Spargo. That's it. There you go. But there you go. We've got a babysitter on the channel, and I'm the old school. But the times are changing. Remember that song?
For the times they are changing.
Well, it certainly has changed, and kids these days, they're all on the computer. But when I was young, and I was the same as you, Gary, I was told not to say nothing, speak when you're spoken to, and that was it. And you have to behave, because when you're with older people, adults around, you had to make sure that you're behaved, and that was the main...
It's changed.
And these days, I believe people are against it, but I believe in spanking. You know, not hard, and not with an axe handle or anything like that. But I believe that kids should be disciplined.
Oh, we got to go.
Because
look at that, they're giving you the wind-up.
They get away with a lot of things these days.
There you go. Right. Hang on, do we like this letter to give away the pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of a Long Tree?
Number
we
2.
Won't put the slide up.
Number 2.
Best letter tonight?
Number 2.
Number 2?
Number
You
2.
like the age difference? Which one did you like?
Number 2, let's give it
Number
to
2? You like number 2? Everybody here likes number 2?
Number 2.
Yeah.
Technicolor. Very good. Coming out
Bye.
to... Who's number 2?
Number 2.
Number 2. William of Clovelly in New South Wales. Coming out to William.
Bye, William.
Clovelly. Good night, Evan. Good night, Candace.
See ya.
Good night, Alex. Good night, Steve. We've got to go. Wave good night to everybody. Thank all of our wonderful guests, and thank our terrific crew, and thanks for having us tonight. Australia in your lounge rooms. Now you can wave, everybody. Okay, here we go. Good night.